Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to say thank you to all my subscribers and to everyone who's here with me today. Now today I'm going to continue on and I'm going to decorate or start the process of decorating some of these pages, in particular the edges of the pages today, because in this journal I have I'm trying to do a bit of sewing, but I've used a variety of papers and some of these papers are very thin. See, I've sewed down there, and I also sewed on this decorative edge here. Now this paper is really quite thin. Now on the other side, the sewing, I don't really like the sewing on that side, so what I've done is I've just taken another piece of paper and I'm just going to glue this here, and this will have two purposes really. It will cover the sewing, which for some reason I don't really like. It didn't sit very well on the thin paper, and it will provide a better space to actually write on, and it will also strengthen the paper. Now I've just sewn two pieces of brown paper together. It's a good way to use up all the paper that I have, and it works well. So just snipping a few threads there. So that page is done. I may put something on the back. I may just leave that other page. So I'm going to go back to the front here. Again, this paper is really thin. It's nice to use different weights of paper, but I'm really concerned that this is actually going to rip quite easily. I could just replace it, or what I'm going to do is just add some things to it so that I strengthen it up a little bit. Now I folded over the edge that extended past the journal cover, and I've just gone to my sewing machine and I've got an envelope. I've just put a decorative edging there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put there, but I'm really concerned about this join here because I really don't think that's going to hold up very well. So I'm going to put a little bit of paper here just so that I have a little bit more strength in that section. Paper on paper becomes very strong. It's amazing how much strength even just that little piece of paper will add to that. Now this is good. I could put another piece on the outside there if I want, but I'm just going to leave that, and even now when I punch the holes through this, it'll give it a bit more strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the envelope on here. Now I've just realised I could make that into a pocket, which would probably be pretty useful, but it is the first page, so maybe I won't do that. If I put it that way, it's not going to protect the edge, and I do want to strengthen up this edge. This edge has got a double paper has been turned over, so it's quite firm now. That's really good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to glue this down as if it is a pocket. We'll see how that rocks. Not sure if it'll work, but it's only paper and I can just put something over it later if I change my mind. I think my glue bottle needs a little bit of extra glue in it. So I'm just going to put this right at the edge here and just flatten that down a little bit. And so I've got a little bit of a pocket there. I probably do need to put something along here. Now, off camera I did quite a bit of sewing the other day. I picked some little bits of calico and I actually did some decorative stitching on them. I did mostly blue because I had blue thread on. So these are useful for things like this because they give you an edge. So I think I might just put that there and add some other little things to this page. I'm just going to let that extend right down here off the edge. So I'm just going to glue this down. And later, when I start doing stenciling, I tend to do things in layers. So I'll go through, put pockets on, and then I've done the signatures, then I do pockets and edges, then I might do some sewing, then I do a whole lot of stenciling, and then I might go through, put pictures and stickers, images and stickers in. So if I have them out on my table at the time, I do them all at once, but if not, I do them in sections. So if this was my journal that I was using, I might put here like a bookplate to say that it's my journal, or what kind of journal it is. So I think for now I might leave this page to decorate to see where it sits within the actual book itself. So originally I had that there, and then I had this. So with this envelope I've actually turned that into a pocket as well, and because the edge is not going to be very strong here, I actually pulled back a little bit of the envelope very, very carefully and folded over. Now that's quite a firm edge, and I don't really want to put anything else on this because I don't want to lose that image, but I am going to stick this here. I actually had it upside down originally. I had a look at it. I really like this envelope. It came from a bundle of odd envelopes from the op shop, and I was happy to give it a new home, as it was, I think, about $1 for this huge package of envelopes. So, okay, so we've got this first page with not only strengthens the page, gives it a bit more bulk there and strength, which is great. Leaves you with this writing space, leaves you with this blank page, plus you have a little pocket there with this edge and this decorative edge. Might do some extra work to these pages as I go along. So I don't tend to finish a page all at once. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So then we've got, on the next page, we've got another pocket. I mean, if I think about it, I may sew down that later. I'll just see. I may not, because I've got some sewing there. Now this bit, I'm just wondering what I'm going to do with that, whether I'm going to add something to it or not. It's nice as a blank page. I'm trying to find, I have a punch that does the corners, but I can't actually find it at the moment, so when I find that, I'll do that. Now this page I could just leave it as it is, but I think what I might do with this page is I might add a pocket. So again, while I was at the sewing machine the other day, I'll show you a few things that I actually did with my sewing machine to add to pages. So let's just have a look at those quickly and then we'll come back to that page. So I did these decorative edges with the Calico. So I did a few just random patterns on my sewing machine that I did with the Calico. So I could use those as edges or wherever I want them. I also did some paper lace edges or page toppers or whatever. So I did a few of those. So basically, This one's just some offcuts, as you can see in the back here, some brown paper, some offcut here, and a little bit of lace, and then I've just stitched them down, bit of zigzag and just straight stitch. So it just uses up a few scraps. This was the same thing, a little offcut. I've just put on some random pieces of fabric. That's a little bit of paper, lace, and a little bit of calico, which flips over the back. So as you can see on the back there, just the stitching, just holding it all down in place. So that's that. I did other little pieces that you can see here. I did a little pocket, so just a piece of recycled card there, went around the edge with a zigzag, just put a bundle of little scraps on there that I used my pinking shears. Had these for ages, just used my pinking shears to cut them out, and then just straight stitched over that. You can just see I've just straight stitched over that, so that'll make a nice little side pocket for somewhere. Then I decided to use the same little scrappy idea. Put down again a little piece of recycled paper there. I just cut them out in little squares, put them on, and then got out some variegated thread that I actually had purchased and did a number of different stitches. So my machine has a nice array of stitches. It's like a, I think it's a feather stitch it's called, and then it actually has a cross stitch and just some straight stitch. So that'll make a nice pocket. I can either put it that way or I could put it that way so that you have a pocket that way. So we'll see where that fits in. I made another one. Again, this is out of an old calendar. You can see some of the edges aren't completely sewn down. That's fine. The same process as the other one, just some little squares of fabric that I've cut with a pinking shears, and then I've just got a number of different stitches, it's better to see them on the front, that came from my sewing machine. So again, another pocket. I can use it that way, or we'll see how that fits in. Again, a piece of old calendar, and this one's much simpler, just a few little pieces. It's firm enough to be a pocket, or I may just use it as a card on top so that you can write it on. So that's okay. I just did some straight stitching on some tea-dyed paper, a bit of stitching on an old envelope. I've got a hole there, so it all got stuck. I had another idea, but it didn't work, so I'll have to cover it up at some stage. Just some plain old book page, lovely colour, and it's just got zigzag on that side. I went purple here. I just wanted to change of colour. And just a label tag there. So this will just be an envelope that I put on a page where I want to strengthen the page, or I want to actually maybe make a side pocket again there. This one's the same. Had a few issues with this one with my sewing machine, but that's the basis. I'll work with it and see what I'm going to do with it when I actually put it into the book. And this is just like a little paper cluster here, a little pre-purchase item, bit of lace, calico, corner of a book page because I like the numbers, all set on a little bit of brown paper, and as you can see, just stitched around there. So I've got a few little elements that I've pre-made because I'm not set up to go backwards and forwards to the sewing machine at the moment. Excuse me, my voice is really bad again today. So let's go back to the book. So we did this one, we've got a little page there, and I'll add something else to that. It's a bit bland. We've got the envelope, and now onto this page. So I could either just put that there, but the colours don't really match, so we won't be doing that. We could go with that, but it really doesn't match across. I think I might move that to another spot. It seems the easiest answer there. What about jewellery? She had her wedding ring, otherwise no jewellery. Okay, so I might add this here as a extra writing space. I don't think I'm going to make that another pocket. We've already got one there, so we don't need another pocket, but we do need to regain a little bit of writing space. I like this glue, it's just my personal preference. I don't like really wet glues. I don't like the paper warping that can occur. So I'm going to put that over there so I cover up a lot of the text. Now if you don't like the text, there's lots of things you can do. You could just put another strip of fabric at the bottom there, just looking for the little offcut that I had from, I seem to have lost it in the last 30 seconds. I mean, you could just put a piece of paper under there if you want to do that, so that you don't see that text. I could just add this little piece here, but the blue doesn't really go with that, so I don't think I'll do that. I might find something else that matches a little bit better for the bottom there. I have this really groovy stick on the fabric. I've never actually used it. It just sort of sticks on. It's got a paper backing on it, and you peel it off and it sticks on, but the colours don't work very well there. So I'll have a look at something else. I tried to organise some of these things because I was getting a bit fractured. There was too many things. That's the top of an old pattern. Don't really like that. That's kind of cute actually. I kind of like that for some reason. I don't really know why. It's nice when you bend it over and you see this little difference. So I might just cut that in half. And just place that at the bottom of that page. Okay, so that'll strengthen up the corner of that page a little bit too, but there's a lot happening on that page. So I'll find something to put there. I don't know what. Maybe a piece of lace, a little lace flower might be nice. So let's have a look at this. Yeah, a little lace flower is not a bad idea. Just trim off the little pieces that connect to other pieces. There's one more there. Okay, that's that little issue fixed. I like these date stamps. I think I might try one of those. I do really like these. I'm just going to try and find a little piece of scrap paper to try that out on. Here we go. So let's try this out before we see how dark the colour is. That's not bad. Alright, I kind of like the colour. forever. Actually, that page and that page go better together. This is what happens, you start thinking and then you change your mind. But that's okay. That works better. Okay, that works better because this little piece up here is actually better for that page. This is why I don't put the book together in the signatures straight into the book, because I just find that sometimes I do change my mind, and I do actually like seeing more of that really old vintage lace there sticking through there. Yellow is not a colour I use a lot, so I might try and write something yellow there. We've got the date there, then I can probably add something else to this page, or I can just leave it. Yeah, that seems to work a bit better, that configuration. I need to find something else though here. So, and yeah, that works really well with that. So, if I actually glue that down, I can end up with a pocket here. If I put it that way, I can end up with a pocket there and a pocket there, and that's an edge. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and that uses up a piece that I've already made beforehand, and that might be it for today, folks. So I'm just going to glue this bit down. Because there's no point in cutting it off. I could have used it somewhere else, but that's okay. Then I'm going to glue down, oh, I want to be very careful here. I need to glue down this edge. And this edge, nearly made a mistake and glued the whole back down then. I need to think about what I'm doing here. So, just going to put a bit of glue on that so that it actually holds. Now I'm just going to place that there. So this orangey colour sort of matches that colour, which is good. And then when you flip over, you actually see the little edge out there, which is nice. And then we have a little pre-made envelope here with a little image inside and the enjoy today. And we might end that there. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Apologies for my croaky voice, but I have this ongoing allergy reaction to something at the moment, and I just sound a bit off. If you don't want to listen to it, you could just turn off the sound. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you next time. Bye for now.